Greetings from our student panel. I will be your moderator today, and my name is Wanli Zhang. And today, first of all, let me actually congratulate to all of you guys on the admission to the University of Richmond. You guys should be really proud of yourself because it's a really, really great accomplishment. And today, we have 4 students here for our panel. And I would like to start just introducing yourselves, please. Let's start with Javier.
Good morning. My name is Javier Cifuentes. I am a junior student from the class of 2017. I am majoring in accounting and finance. And one of my favorite involvements here in Richmond is being a Bonner Scholar and getting out into the community for 10 hours every week, interning at the City of Richmond Office of Multicultural Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Barbara Fujita. I'm from Brazil. I'm a freshman Richmond Scholar here, and I want to major in math with a minor in business and in integrated science.
Hi everybody, special namaste to all my Indian admitted students, and especially if you're a Mumbaiite, because I'm from Mumbai. I'm a senior studying classics with minors in French and Russian. One of my favorite out of the many activities that I do on campus is being a part of the debate council along with George, as well as working at the Speed Center.
Hi everybody, my name is George. I'm from Greece. I'm a sophomore. I'm currently double majoring in leadership and political science, and I'm minoring in econ. And as Sugandh also mentioned, we're members both of the debate club in the University of Richmond.
All right, and as for me, my name is Wanli Zhang, as I said, and I'm from Shanghai, China. I'm a current junior, class of 2017. My major is business administration with concentrations in international business and finance, and I'm also a double minor in physics and French. And so one of my favorite things on campus that I'm involved in is I'm a part of our a cappella group called Corduroy, and we put on shows, we do concerts, and we produce CDs actually as well. It's been a great pleasure to work with a lot of people that's actually really passionate about music, and I really enjoy every minute of it. So today we're going to talk about a lot of different aspects about the student life and academics here at the University of Richmond, as I would imagine a lot of you guys really wanted to know. And I really hope you guys can learn a lot from our conversation today and ultimately actually decide to come to Richmond and make Richmond your home for the next 4 years of your life. So let me move on to our very first question. So I would like to ask our panelists, why did you actually choose Richmond when you were deciding where to go, and what are the most important aspects that ultimately made you to decide come here?
So I chose the University of Richmond because throughout the scholarship process, everyone seemed very invested in making sure that I would grow as a student, as a person. And when I got to come here for the visit, I met a lot of incredible people, and everyone made sure to make me feel welcomed on the campus. And I was sitting outside of Richmond Hall, and I just had this moment looking at the tree. I told them about it. I just felt like I had to come here.
For me, it's much more than just the moment, because I am an international student and didn't get to visit campus. But the top 2 reasons why I chose the university was, one, the small class size, right? So especially if you're from Mumbai, my Mumbaiites would understand this. The class sizes are so large, up to 200 students in a classroom. And so I really thirsted for personal interaction, the one-on-one with the professor, that I knew I would be guaranteed here, because it's very hard to hide away in the corner if there are only 10 students in the classroom. So one would be the personal attention, as well as the academic rigorosity, that not only does the personal attention be there, but you're guaranteed an education that is going to be stimulating because of the academic rigor that the curriculum has.
For me, it really came down to 2 different things. I attended a high school, an international boarding school, and we had people from all over the world. And then when I had had to choose a university, I thought, well, do I want the same environment or do I want something different? It turned out to be that Richmond offered both, and coming here exposed me to American diversity and allowed me to understand the United States in a way that I didn't know before, and that was amazing. And then also Richmond gave me the opportunity to have that international community that I was used to before. So it was really cool. If you're thinking about, if you're going to be probably homesick or missing an international environment, don't worry about it. There are plenty of international students here, both exchange and undergrads, to be able to accommodate you. And then on the other hand, there are some really cool opportunities that I'm sure we're going to touch on some of those that the university offers, because it has a lot of resources and it really has a commitment to invest on your education.
For me, the reason I chose the University of Richmond was due to the Jepson School of Leadership Studies. Before I came here and while I was in high school, leadership was a topic that I was very interested in, and Richmond is the only university throughout the United States that offers such a degree in an undergraduate level, which is very helpful, and for me it's one of the best majors that we offer in the university, because it teaches you how to think critically and how to think in an ethical perspective. But what also drove me and made me come here to Richmond was the fact that I can combine different majors. As I said before, I'm double majoring in leadership and political science and minoring in economics. And this is the liberal arts aspect of Richmond that gives me the opportunity to explore different fields, even if it's, in my case, leadership and political science, or in other cases, leadership and physics.
All right, thank you guys. So you guys actually mentioned a little bit about the academics through your first answers. So I was just wondering, could you just tell our guests what are the classes actually like here in Richmond, and what do you like about it?
I can go off of that because one of the most amazing aspects about the university is that its classes are so eclectic. So for example, in my economic development class that I took last semester, it was about development in Latin America, Asia and Africa. There were specific days of the course which were dedicated to specific countries. So one of them was beloved India, in which the professor expected me to lead the class discussion, so that not only did he provide insight from a scholarly perspective, but also allowed for a very personal and unique perspective that only someone who's been raised in India for 18 years would understand. Another day was given to China, and we had a student from China again lead the class discussion. Since it was also about Latin America, we had 2 students from Argentina and Bolivia, again same thing. So the students are so eclectic in the classroom that it allows for unique insights to flourish. Not only that, but also since I'm taking a couple of languages, I'm studying Russian from the Dean of the Moscow School of Business, I'm studying Chinese from a visiting scholar from China, as well as French from professors who had extensive research opportunities in France. So from a both scholarly from the professor side as well as the student side, the perspectives are really original and eclectic.
So I'm going to talk about a different field. As a freshman, I took a course called SMART, that stands for Science, Math, and Research Training, and I studied biology, chemistry, and math, all focused in one main topic. So I had the regular classes that every other student was having, but because we were in the special program, our class formed a learning community, and we were supposed to do research and apply mathematics, calculus, and use chemistry to understand the biology of HIV. So yeah, HIV was our topic this semester, but this is just an example of a class that I've never heard of in any other school.
I think one of the really cool things that you can think about from what you already heard is that Richmond offers different teaching styles, and it also depends on which school you're studying at. So if you're studying at the leadership school, there may be some classes that are lecture-based, and then there are going to be others that require you to lead discussion, as Sugandh mentioned before. And there are also some professors who teach with the Socratic method, and that's really cool. You know, they're going to challenge you, they're going to be calling on you, and right, yeah. And at the business school, we have one professor that's known for that, but it's a great class. You know, it's challenging and it really gets you to learn. But one of the most important aspects, I believe, about academics at Richmond is that you can find the connection between the theoretical component in the classroom and the practical application outside. As a businessman, I also took classes in the sciences and arts fields. In arts, I took an introduction to light and sound class, and it was really cool to have in the lab component go into the theater and prepare everything, set it up for the shows at the university, because you learn a lot. It's not just that you are in the classroom learning and having to memorize things. You actually apply it. If you're a business student and you're interested in investments and finance in general, you can, coming up to your senior or junior year, you can apply to be in the Student Managed Investment Fund, and you're going to have professors there supporting you, learning firsthand application of investment theory, so that when you get out into the real world, and you're very well prepared. So those are some things that you should consider.
Thank you, guys. Actually, going off of Javier, I was actually just selected to be the next year's one of the managers in this Student Management Investment Fund, and we're really glad to be taking on this opportunity. And we'll be managing some of this a little portion of school's endowment, and also we're gonna have like a trip to Wall Street in early September. So I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, it's a great opportunity to get involved and actually get sort of the stuff you learn in class and actually apply into the real world. I know all of us are actually really involved in a lot of different extracurricular activities. So I'm wondering, could you guys just talk a little bit more about how's the extracurricular life, how's the social life here on campus, and what are some of the options that the school provides us?
As I previously mentioned, along with Sugandh, we're members in the debate team of the university. This gives us the opportunity to travel all around the East Coast in the United States, as well as in other countries, to participate in different debate conferences. And what is great about this participation, and especially about debate, is the fact that we interact with other universities and we push ourselves to think critically and see different perspectives on different issues. Now, if you're a debater, you understand what I'm talking about. But if debate is not for you, there are an additional 190 organizations, student-run organizations that you can participate in. This is very important because you have the choice of doing what you want to do, and the university doesn't like push you to do something. It's a matter of you choosing to participate in any organization you want, and this is an amazing thing in my opinion.
Similar to George, another life-changing experience, except debate, obviously, has been working at the speech center. You must be wondering what the speech center is. It is literally what it says. That is, it helps students overcome their fears of public speaking, because they have so many presentations in classes or just symposiums and conferences that students are regularly attending. And this center is specifically dedicated to working with students overcome that. Because we strongly believe that nothing in the world that has been done with intelligence has been done without the aid of speech. A lot of our first year seminars, our general education requirements focus on enhancing your writing and speaking skills. And the speech center where I work as a consultant provides peer-to-peer feedback and constructive criticism, so that not only am I reinforcing the ideals of public speaking in my own head every time I'm helping someone else overcome theirs, but students are in it's a very friendly environment that is non-threatening, and the technology that we use is also very cutting edge. So just this experience has helped me so much overcome and become a more confident public speaker. Because no matter what you do, no matter where you are, you're going to have to speak up and communicate your ideas. And that is really something that working at the speech center has taught me.
I think all of you would agree with me on this one. The philosophy of getting involved here at the University of Richmond, it's really not about whether there's something that you can do, but it's more about whether you're going to do it. There are really so many clubs and associations that you can join, and they allow you to meet friends or very interesting people. They could be academic, or they could be just for fun. It could be sports, it could be Greek life. So really the university, it's it's a small university that combines everything that you could possibly imagine. Everything that you could want from a big school or from an even smaller school, you can find it here. And if we don't have it, you can start it off through the Student Activities Center. You can go there and you can find a group of people, and we'll help you out to like get everything set up, and then get a group of people who are interested in it and just make it grow from there.
Cool, thanks guys. Next question actually for all of you is, I'm sure a lot of the parents will really want to know, it's actually about housing and food. So could you guys talk a little bit about what are some of the options on campus in terms of housing and in terms of dining?
Sure. So when it comes to housing, I'm currently a sophomore, so a big aspect of our housing is living learning communities. Specifically, when you can apply for these programs from when you're a freshman, but they're a bit smaller. So you live with a specific group of people throughout the year in the same like dorm and are around you, and you interact and engage in different activities with them throughout the year. However, when it gets more interesting is during the sophomore year. We have a program called SSIRs, which is Sophomore Scholars in Residence, and there are, I think, around 15 to 16 programs that students attend. Like, I think 50% of my classes in SSIRs right now, and these people that participate in SSIRs travel together once a year to different locations and do research on the topic that they're exploring in the class they're taking all together throughout the year. So you have the opportunity to engage with your community that lives around you, not only inside the community, but also in the dorm, but also in class and by traveling, which is a great opportunity.
In terms of food, I know being a big foodie, nourishment and good organic produce is something that is crucial for my existence. Also something that can easily make any international student as well as domestic student feel homesick. The dining hall that we have, it's called D Hall or the Hillman Dining Center, does a fantastic job of not only providing for different catered needs that you have. So I'm a vegetarian, a lot of my friends have different allergies or they just have different needs. It suits those dietary requirements. Along with that, it is regularly having stations such as we have the Indian bar once a week or twice a week. We also have the Mongolian grill, pho, just different kinds of food specialties that are rotated weekly. Apart from that, we also have monthly celebrations in which we have the Latino History Month, we had the Black History Month at one point, even the Asian History Month. So again, not only, it's just ingrained that the food is very eclectic to suit the eclectic population of students on our campus. So that I would say in terms of food varieties, that's really solid. Also, we also have a lot of high standards for not only nourishment but good produce and just ensuring that whatever is being provided is healthy and created in an extremely hygienic fashion. So again, that is something that's unique and just generally accepted of the housing, of the dining opportunities on our campus.
I think one of the greatest advantages of you coming in 2016 is that it's a time of great changes for the university. So in terms of housing, it really only gets better from good. So that's going to be really great for you. I'm sure you as a freshman have noticed it. When I came here in 2013, there were some buildings that are just not there anymore. They were taken down and built from scratch, and we have brand new dorms and apartment complexes, and you're going to benefit from that. And it's still going on. For housing selection this semester, there's going to be some people who have to move from one dorm to another at the middle of the year because it's going to be a brand new dorm there just for them. They're going to be the first ones living there. So I'm sure some of you will have those opportunities if you choose to come here. And as you mentioned, Sugandh mentioned, the food is great. Dining hall has a lot of options. So we got you covered.
Yeah, just to add on actually another point. So for freshman and sophomore, usually we're all in residence halls. That way you actually, you have a meal plan to go with like unlimited swipes into the dining hall, and you have like about over $700 dining dollars to actually spend. And then once you actually move into like apartments, like a lot of the juniors and seniors will be staying in, you actually have the option of choosing the unlimited swipes, or you can choose like, let's say we have a Spider 40 program program, which is you have 40 swipes into the dining hall, and you also have about almost $1,000 dining dollars to use. It's just a great way to have some more flexibility within your dining and housing options, just to provide students with a better quality of living in general. Let's move on to the next one. You guys talked about like the living learning community, which I think is a really, really unique aspect about our school. Could you guys maybe talk about some other unique opportunities that our school actually provides us?
Okay, so one of the most beloved aspects again about the university, there are so many, but one of the most, especially as an international student, is something that in spite of being nestled, this 350-acre campus is nestled in a small city called Richmond, not so small, but yes. However, it really connects you to the rest of the world very quickly, right? So as a residential scholar, a lot of my scholarship, most of it was transferred abroad when I studied at the University of Edinburgh for a semester, where I was able to pursue my passion for debate and Model United Nations. I was able to go to a conference in Ireland, as well as compete in Oxford for a final round for a debate competition. So study abroad, hands down, the most effective and most strong, I would say strongest aspect about the university. Before coming to Richmond, I had never been outside of India. But now, over these 4 years, I've had the opportunity to travel to over 14 countries, and each of them have been either for a volunteer experience or for an internship or for study abroad, both of which, all of which have really enhanced my Richmond experience, taken it to another level.
Going off from the study abroad, which I'll be experiencing next semester as well, a big aspect of the university, as I assume you've already heard about, is the Richmond Guarantee. So I'll just try to give you like a brief student perspective on this topic. So the Richmond Guarantee guarantees the maximum amount of $4,000 to every student. This means that you don't have to compete for other students to get this money. If you make a good case about it, they will give you the money, and if you need it. And you get the money, you can receive this funding from the university to either do your own, to cover the cost of your internship or do your own research. I remember I have a friend of mine that she is going to work in New York next summer, and because of the high cost of living in New York, she can't afford it. So she applied for this, and now she's going to use these $4,000 to cover her cost of living, which is a very big aspect. And when more or less.
So you mentioned research, and I'm not even using my Richmond Guarantee to do that. It's part of the SMART program I mentioned before, but I get the opportunity to do research as an undergraduate freshman, and I honestly thought it was crazy when I got here, and they let me go to the lab and mess with the acids and do my experiments on my own, of course with the help of the lab instructors, but doing independent research as a freshman and as an undergraduate is an opportunity that I've never heard of my friends getting in other schools, and that I'm very grateful for here.
I have just one more thing to add. A lot of universities tell you that you're going to get to form a connection with your professors. At Richmond, I can attest to that. I think it's true. I took one class with our former president, Dr. Ayers, and I had no interest in history, especially not history from the city of Richmond or the southern United States during the Civil War. I just didn't care about it. But taking that class with Professor Ayers just really changed my perspective completely. And I got to form a really, really interesting academic relationship with him. And that just helped me be a better student and a better person, just because you discover a passion for learning. So that's one of the really cool things about the university on the academic side.
Great, thank you guys. Actually, going off of Javier, you mentioned like the city of Richmond and everything. So, how are we actually doing as an institution in terms of like integrating ourselves into the greater Richmond area, and what kind of initiatives have the school been doing? Anyone want to elaborate a little bit? All right, yeah, go ahead.
So regarding how does the university connect students to the city, right? So since we are, I would say 15-20 minute ride from the main city, we have many meaningful different partnerships that have been set up with local institutions, for-profit companies as well as non-profit companies, organizations through the Bonner Center for Civic Engagement and the Career Services. So the Bonner Center for Civic Engagement specifically works towards engaging the students with the civic aspect of volunteering and working with local partners, further their mission as well as teach students valuable lessons in helping people, mentorship in high school students, and just overall applying classroom theories in leadership as well as in political science. And I don't know about the sciences as much, but definitely about the more humanities aspect has been very well applied through the Bonner Center for Civic Engagement. Also, we have so many shuttles and which run by the hour, connecting you to malls, movie theaters, shopping centers. What else? We have restaurants and anything. If you're worried about what to do over the weekend, don't worry about it, because we have transportation that runs over the hour, connecting you to city fantasies and city life, things that can really engage you for weekend festivities. Also, we have many trips that are organized by different offices. So the Office of International Education will sometimes take you to DC to see the Cherry Blossom Festival. We have the special cultural trips to explore the history of DC. I know for my journalism class, we went to the museum in DC to explore copy editing as well as journalistic aspects of the beautiful museum. So through class trips and different center organized trips, we are constantly being engaged not only with the city of Richmond but also nearby cities such as New York, DC, etc., etc.
I think also there are some classes that require a community service component. And it's not really something that will be tedious, it's something that will teach you something really valuable. There are some classes in the leadership school that I know that require that component, right? And when you're going to get out there, you're going to meet some really interesting folks, and they're going to teach you about what they're doing in the city. You're going to learn about their jobs, and you're going to learn about why they're important. So this is a really important piece of your education, because it can help you to really figure out what you want to do in life. So getting out into the community, especially in a very dynamic place like the city of Richmond. When you think about Richmond, maybe you don't think about a place like New York City, but the city of Richmond has become a booming center for several small businesses. You know, like startups are around here in Richmond, so you can find people with innovative ideas, and you want to be in the places where change is happening, and the city of Richmond is one of those. So if you want to get engaged through classes and just on your own with really interesting people, come here. Right?
Going on to what Javier previously mentioned about having community-based requirements in classes, I had this leadership class that he was talking about, and it was about justice and civil society in the American society. So we were looking into the injustices and the problems that the American education system might have, or issues with poverty, and all of us were volunteering in different organizations. Others were going to different hospitals. I was volunteering in an after-school program. Friends of mine were tutors in high schools in poor neighborhoods in Richmond. So what is very important about these community learning programs is that it enforces and it pushes to have more conversation inside the class, and everybody brings his own experiences inside the classroom. I mean, I learn from my classmates' experience in the hospital. I'm not reading a textbook about it. I'm not reading an article. We learn from each other. And also, what is very important about these such classes, and which happens to other classes as well, is that our professors are very networked, have a lot of connections in the city of Richmond as well as all around the US. And they bring experts in their field, in specific fields, to talk about during class. And for example, in one of my classes, because my professor is not an expert in any way in poverty in Richmond, she brought the director of one of the biggest food stamp programs in Richmond in our class, and he talked to us about the food stamp program in Richmond and how they're trying to improve it, and we even made our own recommendations from our limited experience. And this gives you like the opportunity to understand what the real problems of the world are.
But just add
Okay,
one
yeah.
more thing.
Go ahead.
I think it's important to mention. You heard about the study abroad programs, but in terms of the community-based learning experiences, you can also have them abroad. There are different kinds of study abroad programs. It's not just the ones that you're going to choose a university and you go there and you're going to go to class there every day the same way you do here. Some of our programs actually require you to have a research component. You will have to go out into the community and research some topic related to your major or just some academic interest, and then you may be in that country and then you have to be somewhere else for other 2 months. There are some people I've heard through these study abroad programs who have studied abroad during one semester in 3 different countries, and they have engaged with the community, they've met some people, and then they publish either a research paper or presentation on their findings. So that's a really cool thing to think about.
Thanks. My next question for you guys will be, could you maybe in a minute or two talk about the one thing that you felt like the most connected, or the thing that you like the most about your experience so far here on campus at Richmond?
What I would like to talk about that's very important for me are the people. I'm in this as FIS, and I have to write a paper now about whatever I want, and my professor wanted to make sure that I wrote about my passion because it's a long paper and he wants me to enjoy it as well as learn from it. So my topic is going to be a mathematician and how he influenced the civil rights movement. But what it really means is that the professors here and everyone that I came in contact with, they were trying always to make sure that I was learning and that I was improving and becoming my best in this university. So that's the thing I love the most. The people here who are invested on you and want to make sure that you become the best you can be.
I would say for me, especially as an international student, and it's not just me, I also have a twin sister who's here, and both of us are on scholarship. She's actually sitting in the audience. And for both of us, a big part of doing even 1% of what we do is the financial burden that my family back home in Mumbai has to bear. And the university has been, I can't just use the word supportive for it because that's not enough, but all of our adventures, my sister as well as me, both of us, all our travels abroad, all the research that we've been able to do, it has been funded through some kind of scholarship. For example, my time at Edinburgh was funded as it is. My scholarship here was transferred. Over the summer, the kind of research and internship opportunities as well as multiple volunteering opportunities in Central Asia, Kyrgyzstan or Monaco or Switzerland or France, they've all been funded by the university, which has been it's been mind-blowing, because to think that the university can invest so consistently and so rigorously in your passion and in your initiative, it's been one of the most defining experiences, which is what has allowed us to really spread our wings, be ambitious and daring.
So from my experience, I think the most amazing thing here is the relationships that students shape with their professors. We mentioned it a little in the beginning, but for me, it's one of the things that I was more surprised after I came here and after I spent a semester or two. A few months ago, I was declaring my major, and I really didn't know what major to declare. I was going through a lot of stress about this thing. And I think I talked with around 10 to 15 professors, and I got their advice on what major I should select. And all of them had their own different reasons to suggest something different. And I combined these different opinions to create, shape my own opinion and find actually what I want to major in. And what is the important thing here is that professors care about the students. If you go to a bigger college, you're not able to create the strong relationships that you are able to create here. When you have a class with 15 students, which is usually what it is in my classes, your professor knows you by your name. You're going to his office hours. You meet with him outside class. 2 days ago, actually, I was in my professor's house because he invited us for dinner, the whole class. This is not something these things happen at the university. It's not rare. It happens, and all of the people, like I don't want to say 100%, but most of the professors, like 95% of them, are willing to help you if you send them an email. You might not even have a class with them. You might not have talked to them for 2 years. If you send them an email and ask for their advice, they're going to be there to help you. And this is going to help you know not only when you need advice, but only when you are looking for an internship, and this can happen, for example, in the political science department, because our political science department is working with the Virginia Senate, and a lot of students, like I have 4 friends of mine that did an internship throughout the semester in the Virginia Senate, and instead of taking classes, they were doing this, which is an amazing opportunity that otherwise you wouldn't know about. And this is not only in politics, it's also in the business school, because most of our professors are foreign executives in very big companies, and they can really bring you into contact with the current recruiters. And these are things that you won't see in other universities, in my opinion.
You know, Michael, it's funny because that's a really hard question. I feel like when you ask me about the favorite thing or what I love the most about the university, I really can't think of one single thing that I like the most, because overall my experience here has been so great that it's hard to choose. But I would say that if I have to summarize it somehow, this university allows you to tailor your education for it to be what you want it to be. It's not something that they're selling you as a preset package. Once you come here, and that's something that many liberal arts universities will tell you, that you can just explore different academic areas and then you're going to choose what you're going to major in. But this university really shows you that it's not all about academics. It's also about personal growth. And here I've found a lot of personal growth through all my engagements with different student associations, with the people who are interesting people. You're going to be engaged with really smart individuals. And by smart, I mean not only the people who get the top grades, but the people who are doing interesting things, people who have great ideas, people not only in the student body, but faculty and, you know, staff members. Some of the jobs on campus that I have had have exposed me to some really cool bosses, and, you know, like I've learned from them from just like chatting and like learning about their lives, their families. Sometimes we talk about, with my supervisor for the Bonner Center for Student Engagement, we talk about family, you know, and you really think about like, okay, if I ever get to have a family, like it's really cool to hear about their perspectives, or you hear from other professors about their professional engagements. And if you talk about accounting firms, Big Four accounting firms, or finance, investment banking, some professors have been at Goldman Sachs, or, you know, JP Morgan. So hearing about those perspectives, perspective is a word that I like a lot to describe my experience here. Being at the University of Richmond, through tailoring my education for it to be what I want it to be, has given me a perspective that has helped me to grow as a unique person, to define my personality in a way that I didn't know before. So I'm just overall a better adult right now. And that's thanks to the University of Richmond, thanks to the people, thanks to these guys here, thanks to everyone that I interact with on a daily basis. So that's just one of the things that I would consider. Overall, it's a great place.
Very, very well said. So actually, next, I would like for all of our panelists to talk about what words of advice would you give to the admitted students right now, and in terms of like putting yourself in their shoes, what kind of things you wish you had known beforehand, before coming here, and what in general can someone get prepared to do to get prepared for like the college life and I guess career in general later on in life.
I would say be prepared to work hard. Before I came here, I used to have 8 different classes, and when I heard that I had to take 4 credits here, I was like, okay, I got this. But I learned that, but here I discovered that a lot of the learning happens outside of class as well, because if you don't come to class prepared, you're not gonna get as much from it as if you are prepared. So I would say but it's also very rewarding. I'm like in no way complaining about all the work I have to do. I'm actually grateful for it, because it made me learn so much, and in a way that I've never learned before coming here. So I would just say come prepared to work hard, but it's gonna be worth it.
one big advice that I would say, especially to Asian students, because coming from an Indian perspective, I can give you that we come in with a fixed perspective, right? So for example, when I came in as a freshman, I knew I wanted to do finance in the Robbins School of Business because it had such a strong program. But then you're at the University of Richmond, which is a liberal arts institution. So in my second year here, I completely switched my major from finance to classics to pursue my passion for studying languages, and picked up Mandarin and Russian and French on the way, as well as Latin. So my one advice that I would say to all students who are coming in, not just international but everybody, is that we're a liberal arts institution, and really take advantage of that, because the point of a liberal arts college is not to tell you what to become, but to show you who you are so you can decide who you want to be. And really that goes back to the whole initiative aspect that Javier was also talking about, that it's all about you, what you make of it. So while you come in with a mindset, like for example George wanted to study leadership and he's pursuing it, that's not wrong. However, come in with an open mind that you can explore and be ready to be transformed. Either become a better, more ingrained into your business or leadership, or be transformed into someone completely different. As with me, I don't feel like I'm the same person anymore who walked in as a freshman. My DNA has been changed, and that has only been possible because of the curriculum and the flexibility that the university provides. So really take advantage of that.
Going off to what Sugandh was saying, I really agree with what she's saying. My only advice is explore and get out of your comfort zone. I might came with a mindset of studying leadership, but by the time I declared my major of studying leadership, I took philosophy classes, I took history classes, I took business classes, and politics classes, and by combining the knowledge from all these major fields, maybe philosophy was not for me, and the same thing is for history. I'm not saying that this is the case for everybody, but this was the case for me. And this is what I mean, explore. Go out, don't come here with the idea, I need to study business because X. Come in here and see what you want to see. You can study business and philosophy, you can study business and leadership. I have my best friend studying business and leadership. Other people are studying, for example, leadership and psychology. The combination of majors and the opportunities that you have to do here are great. And the combinations are the only thing that limits is yourself and how much work you want to put, to be honest. And another thing I want to mention and stress is get out of your comfort zone. Don't come here without pushing yourself to learn something else. And I think the best example here is Sugandh. Not even me, I'm going to speak next semester, but for now it's Sugandh. She came from India. She went to Athens. She went, where did you go last semester?
It was at Edinburgh, and then I went to Central Asia.
Central Asia. She studied so many different things. She pushes herself every time to learn something different. And I see this in the debate club every time, how she tries to help other students, how and her sister as well. Not to take all of the credits for you. But they try to push themselves to learn even more, and this is an inspiration even for me to push myself to get out of my comfort zone. This is why I'm going next year to study abroad to Argentina, Vietnam, and South Africa. And this is what Javier was doing in his study abroad as well. Push yourself to learn more things that you think you should learn. Go outside the university, engage with other people, meet the other people. Don't be afraid that don't come with the idea that I'm going to the University of Richmond or any other university and I'm going to stay with my friends that are from my country. Go out and meet other people. Don't stay in your own shell.
And just one really quick thing, and this is just common, it is just something that being a spider means, that is, you're constantly challenging yourself. I would say with spider comes a synonym challenge, and we just love challenges, and that's just a way of life. It's not something unique or extraordinary, it's just who we are. Another aspect that I'd really like to touch on before I give it to anyone else is that homesickness, right? So one of the pieces of advice for all the spiders, especially my international spiders, is that while it's very easy to say that, I want to go abroad and I want to study and the enthusiasm is very high, it's also very easy to feel homesick, and it's also very easy to forget that it's hard to forget and leave everything that we came from and engage in something, not only engage but excel, right? But don't worry, from personal experience I can tell you that you due to the small class sizes, it's again very difficult for you to hide. So professors will pick on and will realize from your body language and everything else of how you're performing to provide personal attention to help you academically, as well as personally, as Javier spoke about life, that people are constantly engaging in outside of the classroom talks about how are you really doing, right? And that goes on to the mentorship opportunities that we have that really allow for that personal one-on-one interaction. Because for me, as a student, while academia is important, while doing all these things is important, all of that is secondary. First is the personal attention, that how am I really doing and what that really means. And I really thirst for care, I thirst for love, and I thirst for personal attention, that I'm actually valued. And that is really something that the university goes out and beyond to provide. George and I, both of us are doing mentorship programs called the peer advising and mentoring program, and Barbara too. And we're just in any and every way, we're trying our best to provide support through peer-to-peer interaction, as well as we have so many other programs that provide mentorship, that provide that kind of support emotionally, spiritually, religiously, and just academically, because you have an academic advisor. Every student has an academic advisor. So that's just to tell you that yes, while it's a natural consequence of transitioning, especially as an international student and a domestic student too, homesickness, don't worry, we do have resources here and we are ready to help you out.
I would like to leave you with two things that I think are important. I'm a rising senior right now, and these are just two of the most important aspects of academic life and social life on campus that I have noticed, and I believe that you can find them very useful. First of all, I liked one of the phrases that Sugandh mentioned before, and it's a metaphor, and she said, "Being here changed my DNA." What does DNA do? You know, it really characterizes, or it defines who you are. It's like that unique sequence that defines who you are and who your ancestors are and what your offspring will be. You know, if you talk about biology, some of you guys are interested in sciences. And being here, why has their DNA changed? I know Sugandh pretty well through our engagement with the International Student Advisory Board. And one of the things that you need to focus on is on your relationships. Relationships that you form during your college years are going to be really important. Some of the people you meet here are going to be your best friends for the rest of your life. Some of them might not be as close as friends, but you will still learn a lot from them. So I would push you, we all mentioned it, get out of your comfort zone. Try to interact with people who are different from you. And by different, I mean different in terms of nationalities, different in terms of languages, different in terms of just interests or gender or anything that you can think about that is not like you. Do not necessarily just go for the people who are similar to you or have similar interests. You're looking just for the same, then you're not going to change in any way. So I'm challenging you to go ahead and be brave and change your DNA in that sense. Meet people with different perspectives, people from different countries. Hear about what cool things they're doing. Maybe you'll find out that you want to do something like that too. So that's just one word of advice, because how cool would it be if you're just sitting around a table with, say, a person from Wisconsin, a person from California, and a person from Texas, who they're all American, but they will be different. I guarantee you, there are some differences between Americans from different states. Even though they're from the same country, there is American diversity, and you should take advantage of that. And then to add to that, you could add some people from India, people from Central America, South America, Southeast Asia, Europe, all of your international students, you should take advantage of that. Just go and meet them, see what they have to say. That's the one thing. And then in terms of the academic field, I would say think skills, not major. What do you want to learn? Find your passion for learning, not necessarily what will be easy or what you think will be hard and that will be cool to get a good grade. Find something that you are passionate about. For example, when I went on a project to Madagascar, sponsored by the university as a freshman, and we were starting an English teaching project as a second language, and I found myself a little frustrated because everyone was speaking French there. They either spoke Malagasy or French, and I had to figure out a way to talk to the professors to get that program going in the long run, because we were teaching English to the kids, but then we wanted them to learn some English so that they can continue teaching it with the other volunteers. So I came back to the University of Richmond and I figured out, no, I want to be a business major, but I also want to learn French. So you don't have to be a French major to take the classes. You just have to go ahead and, take that leap of faith and see, okay, this is not my field of study, but I want to learn it, so I'm going to get this skill. And fortunately, I did well in that class because I had a passion for learning that language, and I did well, and now I'm pretty much fluent, I would say, in French, thanks to the great French department that we have here. Same with any other languages. But, my case was with the languages as a business student, so now I'm proficient in 3 different languages, and I have elementary proficiency in a 4th one. So you find, one of my friends always says, be your own hero. So being here will allow you to be your own hero. You just discover that passion and get out of your comfort zone to meet people who are different from you. Change your DNA. That's what you should do at Richmond.
Thank you guys, very well said. I'm sure we can go on and on for hours to talk about the great opportunity that's provided here at the University of Richmond. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's panel discussion. And I would like to thank all our panelists for coming here and sharing their thoughts. And thank you to everyone who's back at home streaming online to join us today. And I hope you guys have all learned a great deal about our school. And I'm really looking for, and actually we all are really looking forward to seeing many of you guys on campus in this fall.